A hush falls over the courtroom as the judge takes his seat. All eyes are fixed on the defendant, a man who's made killing his profession. The air is thick with tension, anticipation, and a hint of fear. What goes through the mind of a hitman when they face their final judgment? Today we'll delve into the psyche of professional killers as they confront the reality of life behind bars. I'm MHB and this is the Real Crime Diary. Prepare yourself for a chilling journey into the minds of those who've lived by the gun, only to face a future defined by steel and concrete. Before we delve into the courtroom drama, let's set the stage. What exactly is a professional hitman? Well, it's not the glamorized version we often see in movies. These are individuals who have made killing their trade. They're not your average criminals. They're cold, calculated, and often frighteningly efficient. Throughout history, we've seen some notorious cases that have captured the public's imagination. Take Richard Kuklinski, also known as the Iceman. This guy was responsible for up to 200 murders, and his icy demeanor in court was just as chilling as his crimes. Or consider Sammy the Bull Gravano, the former underboss of the Gambino crime family. His testimony brought down John Gotti, but not before he admitted to 19 murders himself. But what drives someone to become a professional killer? As I've dug deeper into the psychology behind the trigger, I've found a disturbing pattern. Many of these individuals exhibit traits of antisocial personality disorder. They lack empathy, they're often charming on the surface, and they have an uncanny ability to compartmentalize their actions. The justice system's response to these cold-blooded killers is typically swift and severe. Life sentences are common, and in some cases, multiple life terms are handed down. But it's not just about punishment. It's about protecting society from individuals deemed too dangerous to ever walk free again. Now, picture this. A man who spent his life dealing in death is suddenly faced with the prospect of spending the rest of his days behind bars. It's a psychological battle of epic proportions, and I've seen it play out in courtrooms across the country. Often the first thing you notice is the mask of indifference. These guys are pros at hiding their emotions, after all. But beneath that cool exterior, I can only imagine the internal turmoil that's brewing. I remember watching Jorge Ayala, hitman for the notorious cocaine godmother Griselda Blanco, as he received his life sentence. His face was a stone wall, but his eyes, there was a flicker there, a momentary crack in the facade that spoke volumes. Some hitmen maintain their defiance to the bitter end. They glare at the judge, smirk at the cameras, acting as if they're above the law even as it comes crashing down on them. It's a last-ditch effort to maintain control, to show the world they're unbreakable. But then there are moments when you see the weight of reality sink in. It might be a slight slump of the shoulders, a brief closing of the eyes, or a clenched jaw. These are the tells that remind us that beneath the hardened exterior, there's still a human being grappling with the consequences of their actions. The climax of these courtroom dramas is always the moment when the sentence is delivered. The tension in the room reaches a fever pitch. Victims' families lean forward, seeking closure. The defendant stands, often appearing smaller than they ever have before. I've witnessed a range of reactions that seem to define these killers' destinies. Some maintain their stoic facade to the very end. Others break down, the reality of never seeing freedom again finally shattering their composure. One case that stands out in my mind is that of Vincent Vinny Gorgeous Bassiano, former acting boss of the Bonanno crime family. As the judge read out his life sentence, Bassiano's trademark smirk faltered for just a second. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it spoke volumes about the psychological breaking point these men face. This is the moment when reality truly hits home. It's a killer's last stand, their final moments as a free man. Some lash out, hurling insults or threats. Others simply nod, accepting their fate with an eerie calmness that's almost more unsettling than anger. I've often wondered in these moments, what's going through their minds? Are they replaying their crimes? Thinking of loved ones they'll never see again? Or are they already strategizing how to survive in the harsh world of prison that awaits them? As the gavel falls for the last time and the hitman is led away, a new chapter of life begins. One confined within concrete walls and iron bars. The courtroom drama may be over, but the real psychological battle is just beginning. In my research, I've found that coping mechanisms vary widely among these convicted killers. Some retreat into themselves, becoming shadows of their former selves. Others adapt, using their skills to climb the prison hierarchy. Take Charles Harrelson, father of actor Woody Harrelson and convicted hitman. He spent his time in prison studying law, even attempting to appeal his own case. It's a stark reminder that the minds that once plotted murders are now turned to new, often desperate purposes. Justice has been served, but at what cost? Society is safer with these dangerous individuals behind bars, but we're left to grapple with the broader implications. What creates a hitman? How can we prevent others from following this dark path? As for remorse, it's a complex issue. Some, like Giuseppe Pippo Calò, the notorious mafia's cassiere or treasurer, maintained their innocence until the end. Others, like Sammy Gravano, expressed regret, though whether it's genuine or a ploy for leniency is often debated. In the end, society has the final word. Life sentences for hitmen serve as both punishment and protection, a stark message that some crimes are beyond redemption in the eyes of the law. As we delve deeper into the lives of these professional killers behind bars, we uncover a fascinating transformation. The men who once dealt in death now face a different kind of survival. Take Greg Scarpa Jr., son of the infamous Grim Reaper. Once a feared member of the Colombo crime family, Scarpa Jr. found himself facing a life sentence. But here's where it gets interesting. In a twist that would make even the most hardened criminal raise an eyebrow, Scarpa Jr. began cooperating with authorities. He traded information for small comforts in his new confined reality. It's a stark reminder that even the most loyal can break when faced with the prospect of a life behind bars. But perhaps one of the most intriguing cases of transformation is that of John Jairo Velázquez Vázquez, better known as Popeye. As Pablo Escobar's top hitman, Popeye claimed responsibility for over 300 murders. Yet in his later years, he underwent a remarkable change. Popeye spent his time cautioning youth against a life of crime, expressing what appeared to be genuine remorse for his past actions. Now I know what you're thinking. Can we really believe these changes of heart? Is it possible for someone who has taken so many lives to truly reform? It's a complex question, and one that challenges our understanding of human nature. Some might argue that these transformations are merely a form of self-preservation, a way to make life behind bars more bearable. Others see it as evidence of the human capacity for change, even in the darkest of circumstances. Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. The journey from hitman to convict is a profound psychological shift. It forces these men to confront the reality of their actions in a way they never had to before. And in that confrontation, some find a path to redemption, however small or imperfect it may be. As we close this chilling chapter of the Real Crime Diary, we're left with more questions than answers. The world of professional hitmen is a dark labyrinth of human psychology, where morality blurs and consequences are severe. We've seen how life sentences can shatter even the most hardened facades, forcing these killers to confront a reality they never imagined. But what does this tell us about justice, redemption, and the human capacity for change? Can a person who's taken so many lives ever truly atone? And what about the society that creates these cold-blooded killers? These are the questions that will haunt us long after the courtroom doors close. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, in the world of true crime, the line between monster and man is often thinner than we'd like to believe.